This is not the norm in the National Hockey League. For a team to have a police escort on the way to the arena, they are the Colorado Avalanche. The reason for the escort is Claude Lemieux. He's in Detroit. This is a story that began with two players surrounding a play that has intensified a pure dislike between two teams. And it has now come to this, a season filled with motivation, driven by revenge, powered by force and muscle, and it now comes down to a pre-playoff showdown. No two teams in hockey dislike one another more. One man in Detroit is wanted more than this man. Well, you won't be able to find him because this is Claude Lemieux, and he returns to the Motor City next. First time since that hit on Draper last season, Claude Lemieux comes with the Avs to Detroit. We're at the Joe, where the #1 team in the NHL, Colorado, takes on the Detroit Red Wings. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Brian Engblom, and welcome. It has gotten a little nasty. Police escort. Some threats have been made regarding Claude Lemieux. He's here for the first time against the #1 team. It will be an interesting night.
It sure will. But leading the way up front, I think, is going to be the guy who has been the last 20 games, is Peter Forsberg. This guy is just outstanding. He's considered by many people the best player in the National Hockey League. He says his line is playing better than it was at the end of last year. He's got the artist Kaminsky on his left and the anarchist Lemieux on the right.
Well, the Detroit Red Wings still a very good year, but not #1 in the NHL anymore. And Scotty Bowman likes to make changes, and he's done it this season.
That's true. But again, there's one line that's come through for them in the last 20 games as well, too. It's the Larionov line with Shanahan and McCarty on the wings. They're the numbers they have put up recently. Shanahan has been outstanding ever since he became a Detroit Red Wing. Larionov sets the table as well as anybody. And Darren McCarty is no longer just the tough guy. He's really contributed offensively.
There are no seats available in the stands or in the press box for this game tonight, as everybody wonders just what will happen. When we come back, Brian's going to take a look at this Detroit Red Wings team and look at the changes Scotty Bowman has made from this year to last, as the playoffs are well within sight for both. Fire on Ice, ESPN2's coverage of the National Hockey League, is brought to you by Lynx, makers of Black Cat irons and metal woods. Buy a set now and get big savings.
Before we talk about this year's Detroit Red Wings, let's look back at last year's team and do a little comparison here. The team last year here in Detroit was absolutely superb. Look at those 62 victories. That's a new record. They absolutely marched through the National Hockey League, win after win. But people looked at them in the playoffs and said, they're predictable, they don't have enough emotion. And look what happened. They lost to Colorado. Well, this year, things have changed a little bit. 34 victories, not quite as well practiced at winning, but a completely different team. They do have emotion. And it starts with a guy like Brendan Shanahan. He's the type of player everybody wants. He can score goals, and he is an emotional leader. Joey Koser, they brought in from retirement. He gives them toughness. Every team needs that, especially in the playoffs. And a guy like Thomas Sandstrom, whom they picked up from Pittsburgh, has the ability to score goals and has an edge to his game as well. All those things are extremely important. And this Detroit Red Wings team is laying in the weeds in a very different situation than they were last year. And that emotion may be the key difference if they're going to catch the Colorado Avalanche.